All right, this is Mr. Wyrick. I'm going to go through today's review with you here. Area of a triangle below is 4.5 square feet. So area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 the base times the height, or the base times the height divided by 2, however you want to think of it. So this is 3 times some number, all divided by 2, is equal to, and they tell us the volume, it's 4.5. So if we multiply both sides by 2, we end up with 3x is equal to 9. We divide by 3. Our missing measurement here is 3. So number 2, what's the area in square meters of the shape below? Remember, if we have a fraction, it's top times top, bottom times bottom. So 1/3 times 5/4. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 4 is 12. And then we're going half of that, so we're going to multiply that by 1/2. That's going to be 5/24, and that's square meters. On number 3, same kind of thing. We have our area. It's 9/20, and that's equal to our base, which we don't know, times our height, which we do know, times 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply these on this side. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 2 is 8. And I need to get this to 9/20. So I can't really do that here easily. So I'm going to need to either cut this in half or double it or something to where I can get this up to 20. So if I actually take this down to 1.5/4, I know that 4 times 5 is going to make 20. So I need a 5 on the bottom, and then 1.5 times 2 will make 3 times 3. So that's 6/5 for my base here. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about if you get this one or something like this. If not, I mean, do your best working through on the calculator. You can get some decimal answers. Number 4, here's the deal. If the base and the top are the same, and it looks like you could draw a line anywhere through and cut through this 3D shape, and it would be the same base, you can calculate the volume because all of the cross sections parallel are going to have the same area. My area is 8 times 8, which is 64. I multiply that by my height, which is 4. That's 256 for my volume. On this one, if I cut through the middle, it's skinnier. Volume can't be determined because not all of the cross sections are going to be the same. Number 6, same kind of thing. The volume can, because all of them are going to be the same, because no matter where we cut through, it's going to be that same circle. Remember, circles pi r squared. I won't worry about going through that one. Number 7, what's the volume in cubic inches of a rectangular prism with a height of 19, a width of 8, and a length of 17? This is just 19 times 8 times 17. So if I pull up a calculator real fast, which I'm not in my classroom, so I have to use Desmos on here. Okay, 19 times 8 times 17. That should be 2,584 cubic inches. A cube has an edge length of 10. What's the volume? Here's the deal with a cube. All the sides are the same. This is 10 times 10 times 10. That's 3 zeros, so it's 1,000 centimeters cubed. Volume in cubic centimeters of a rectangular prism. Again, this is 18 times 9 times 5. I'll leave that one off. So, yeah. The volume of a cylinder. Volume of a cylinder is pi times the radius squared times the height. Be sure to pay attention on the questions like this if it asks for in terms of pi or round the answer to the decimal, okay? So on this one, the base diameter is 8. That's a tricky one. Diameter, we need to get down to radius. Radius is going to be 4. So we take 4 squared, which is going to be 16. We multiply that by my height, which is 18. So 16 times 18 is going to be 288. So this is 288 pi. And just use the pi phrase, 288 pi, like type pi. So 904.778, it wants the 10th, so that's 904.8. Again, you're not going to have these exact questions. It's just kind of looking at how do you do this. Volume in cubic feet of a cylinder with a height of 17 and a base radius of 5. That's 5 squared times 17 times pi. Okay, pi r squared times the height. Cylinder again. Okay, pyramid. Volume of a pyramid is equal to 1/3 of the area of the base times the height. So on this one, the square base, where the perimeter is 5.1, I have a square, and I know all the way around the outside is 5.1. So I would take 5.1, and I would divide that by 4. That's going to give me my side. Whatever that side is, I'm going to square that to get my area of my base, and then multiply that by my height, which is 2.7. But then I can't forget, I've got to either multiply by 1/3 or divide by 3 to get the answer that I need on that one. And I can do that all in one step on Desmos. Okay, if I'm looking at this, I go 5.1 divided by 4, and I can just put a set of closed parentheses there. I can square that. That gives me my area of that square base. I multiply that by my height, which was 2.7. And then I'm going to divide by 3 because it's a pyramid. This should be my volume, okay? You're gonna get a formula chart. It's gonna have the formulas on here, but you still need to know how to do it. Okay, looking back here, find the volume of a pyramid with a square base where the side length is 16.1. So side length, I'm gonna take that 16.1, I'm going to square it because that would be the area of a square. I multiply that by the height of the pyramid, which is 10, and I divide the whole thing by 3. Number 16, find the volume of a right circular cone. The cone is 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So my height is 3.9. My circumference is 16.3. So 2 pi r is circumference. So I need to take 16.3 and divide that by 2 pi in order to get my radius. Okay, whatever I have there, I'm going to square it, multiply by the 3.9, multiply by pi, divide by 3. Make sure you're going through the appropriate steps. Right circular cone, again, same steps. I won't waste your time on that one. Volume of a right circular cone, again, same thing, volume of a cone. Find the volume of the cone here. Again, it's 1/3 pi r squared times h, but this one even says in terms of pi. So be on the lookout for that. It means this pi is just going to come straight down and be part of my answer, okay? My radius squared, 8 times 8 is 64. My height is 24, but since I have that 1/3, I'm going to go ahead and take 1/3 of that height, 1/3 of that 24. That's 8. So I've got 512 pi for my volume there. Volume of a right cone is, I was looking for one of these. It's all about setup. Volume is equal to 1/3 pi radius squared times the height. This tells me my volume is 648 pi. That's equal to 1/3 pi times my radius squared times my height. Okay, so it tells me my height is 24. So 1/3 of 24 is going to give me 8. So I would divide this 648 by 8, and I get 81. My pi's I can ignore for a second. I already used my 1/3, and they gave me my height. So 81 is equal to my radius squared. So my radius is 9. It says find the diameter. The radius is not the diameter. I have to double it. That's going to be 18. Okay. 21, the volume is 36 pi. Again, going through those same steps like we did on the last one. We're just finding the value of the height. Since we have this, it's 3 squared times the height times 1/3 times pi is equal to my volume, which is 36 pi. So I can kind of ignore the pi's on both of them. 3 squared is 9, 1/3 of 9 is 3, so 3 times my height is equal to 36. so my height is 12. Find the volume of the oblique rectangular prism. 8 times 8 is 64, and 64 times 4 is 256. I can ignore this 6. That's a slant height. I don't use those until I'm doing surface area. 23, the volume, again, we've got pi r squared times my height. Surface area of this one is the perimeter of the base. So 6 plus 1 is 7. 6 plus 1 is another 7. That's 14. Times my height, which is 7. Plus 2 times the area of my base. 6 times 1 is 6. So I've got 17 times 7, which is going to be 119. I've got 2 times 6, which is 12. I add those together. That's 131 for my surface area. Surface area rectangular prism. Again, the perimeter times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. Use the formula, find it all, either that or find the area of each individual piece, put it all together. 27, surface area again. Surface area of this square pyramid, this is 1/2 the perimeter times the height plus the area of one single base. So 4 times 4 is 16. My perimeter is 16, half of that is 8 times my height, which is 4, so 32 plus 16 is 48 for my total surface area there. Okay, same thing with this one, same thing with number 30 here. Just trying to speed up. I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long. Surface area of the cylinder is, we go 2 pi r, that's the circumference, times the height. So that gives us the rectangle that's formed when we unroll this side here. And then we're going to add the 2 circles, 2 times pi r squared. Again, look for if this wants it in terms of pi or rounding the answer. This one says thousandth, that's 3 decimal places. Okay? So surface area on this one, height of 5 and radius of 6. This is going to be 2 times pi times 5 times 6 plus 2 times pi times 6 squared. Okay? Just make sure you get it all put together. And then volume of a pyramid is 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Okay, so when you're doing area of the base, make sure you're paying attention. When we have a triangle-based pyramid, the area of a triangle is the base times the height of the triangle divided by 2. So this is 17 times 15 divided by 2 just to get the area of the triangle. Then we multiply by our height, and then we divide by 3 or multiply by 1/3. If we have a rectangular base on the pyramid, like this one here, we just go 15 times 9, then we multiply by the height, then we divide by 3. Again, you're going to have a formula chart. I'll give you a look at the formula chart already. The formula chart looks like this. So it tells you, are you finding the area? Are you finding the volume? Are you finding, this is surface area of a prism. This is surface area of cylinders. And this is pyramids and cones on the surface area, okay? We have the prisms, cylinders, pyramids, and cones for the volume as well. So just make sure you know what the question is asking for. You should be in pretty good shape. If there's still things you don't understand, make sure to check in, and good luck on your test tomorrow.